Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, or Childhood Finds if you haven't joined me before. I'm just doing a what sold video today, and it's going to be within the last week or so. And it's been a little rough again. It's just the ebbs and flows, and I am definitely in the down end. But I was saved by books. So my books saved me. Just to share, about a quarter of my business, at least this year, is books. I actually keep track of what I sell category-wise each year because I like to see how I change as a sourcer. And this year so far, I'm at a quarter of my sales are books, and I am quite happy with that. I love selling them and I love finding them. But we have a variety of things to show, but I do have a couple really good book sales to share with you today. So we'll go ahead and get started. So this first one is going to be Marmion, a poem in 6 cantos, Sir Walter Scott. It's gilded, it's just a very beautiful book, and there wasn't a lot of information. I don't believe there is an actual copyright date, but I was pretty confident in guessing a time frame around this book. And if these kind of books are affordable, I'm picking them up because pretty books sell. I'm weak for pretty books, and I know others are as well. I paid about $1 for this, and I did take a best offer of $21 if I didn't already say that. This is a Brixton Manufacturing Company adjustable snapback hat. Nothing super exciting about it. I know very little about hats. It's just something I am beginning to dip my toe in. So very limited knowledge, but this sold for full asking. I don't remember what I paid, but it probably wasn't very much, and it sold pretty quick. And I'll just zoom in on the logo for you. This one's pretty neat. I pick up any pop-up books, again, as long as they're affordable to pick up, but I always pick up pop-up books. I love them, and other people love them. This is the Haggadah of Passover, and it has a slipcover. It was very interesting because it had primarily the Hebrew text with English translation. And then let me see if I can just, there's a pop-up you can see. They're pretty, I love pop-up books. They're just fun. And this had very different ones too. It had little books you could open, or had little flaps you could open. There you go. So very interesting book. So let's go to our next one, and this did sell for full asking. I paid $2.50 for it. This is a Mary Mary pirate ship cake topper. This I paid $1 for. It sold really fast. I didn't make very much money at all, but it was really easy to ship and to list, and I had 2 of them, so it was a quantity of 2, so I only had to make the 1 listing. So I didn't get rich off selling these, but made a little money. This is a Squishmallow 8-inch Luther Shark blue tie-dye. I tend to not pick up Squishmallows, but if they're cheap or they come in a grab bag, I'm gonna pick it up. So I have sold a few in the past, but a lot of mine, they take up a lot of space and they sit for quite a while, at least that I've found. But I've sold some pretty good ones, so the money is out there, but I don't know a lot about them. And just like any other category, you got a lot of low dollar items. You got to sift through a lot of low dollar items to find the high dollar ones. But this sold for full asking. It probably took a couple months to sell. This is one of my really good book sales. I do also have a video that I go over how to identify a first edition, first printing of this one, Dragonfly in Amber, Outlander, and Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. So I will link that down below if you want to check it out. But I think it's useful to know that information because that is what sold this book. Even if this was a second printing, the value really plummets on it. So it's really a first you want. And this I took a best offer of $145, which I thought was a very fair offer. I priced this one high because I was willing to wait. It seemed like the market had gone down, but I know that there's another season of the show coming out, Outlander, and I was just willing to wait it out to get good price. I'm gonna sneeze, I'm sorry. Never mind. You know how that happens every time you say you're gonna sneeze, or someone says, like, bless you before you sneeze? If you do that, you're a jerk, because then that person will never sneeze. All right, let's keep going. But this I paid $4 for, and this didn't take very long to sell. And then I still have my Outlander available that I am, again, just waiting for a higher price. There are items, I love to take offers on items, and I will work with people, but there are some items that I will just hold fast and I'll wait it out, you know, and you just have to do that for the market sometimes. And then this one I actually took way less than I wanted to, because I thought it was a different item. I was outsourcing and I just happened to look at my phone and I thought it was a different box set I had. I convinced myself in my head it was, so I accepted the offer. I got $25 for it, which really isn't a bad price. I just would have liked probably $30, but $25 is great, and I think the buyer's gonna be happy with them. They are in, the slipcover is not in great condition, but the books are in immaculate condition. So I think the buyer will be happy with it. So it'll be worth it. But I definitely made a little flub. So pay attention when you're accepting offers about what you're selling, because I definitely just thought it was a different set I had. But this is Dante, the Divine Comedy. It's a 3-volume set by Washington Square Press from 1966. The illustrations are really good. Or these are just what the book covers look like. So this is really interesting. Let me see if I have some of the inner illustrations. No. Okay, that's just with the little cover off. But yeah, it was just a nice little set. I really liked it. This is just a puzzle. It's brand new and sealed. It's one of my weaknesses. I think every reseller has weaknesses of stuff they buy, even though they know it's not going to sell for a ton of money, but they can't help it. I find a sealed puzzle, I'm gonna grab that sealed puzzle if it's cheap. This I probably paid $1 or $2 for, and I took a best offer, or I sent out an offer of $11. This is Seattle, a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle by Suns Out. And, you know, I've thought about it. I know that I could make more money on puzzles and different board games if I offered parcel select shipping on eBay, which is the ground USPS shipping. But I'm not willing to give up use of the priority boxes, and I'm not willing to buy skinny long boxes that you need for that. So I just waited out for the right buyer to come and get it. And that is why puzzles don't sell for a lot too, most of the time, is because of that shipping cost. They're almost always going to be over £1, especially the ones I source, which are going to be 500 plus piece puzzles. This is a record. This is Saturday Night Fever vinyl, and it's from 1977. It's the movie soundtrack. It was just in really wonderful condition. It sold for full asking. It took a little bit of time to sell, but I paid $1 for it. I also love records. I love selling them, and I'm so excited for garage sale season because that's where I can really source them. But the weather here just keeps snowing. So this is, I took a best offer on this item for $21. This is a vintage Fenton swung stretch bud vase, and it's just a very nice piece. It's about a 12 and a half inches, and it's just a very nice glass piece. And I paid about $1 for this, and it sold pretty quickly. Whoops. Well, we'll just pop that up really quick then. So this is going to be a lot of 2 signed Avon clip-on earrings. I don't know much about jewelry, but here you go. I sent out an offer of $10 for these, and someone jumped on it and is happy with them. So I am happy with that sale. This is a sealed game. I put in the title, though, sealed damage. So I always do that just in case. So most of these, you know, lower dollar board games, people are going to be opening them to play them. But I always like to include that there is damage to the seal, and I always try to include photos of that because it's not in absolute pristine condition. There could be wear on the box where the seal came off, and I just like to include it in case someone was just collecting it and wanted a perfectly sealed one. I want them to be aware of what they're receiving. And I sent out an offer, I think, of $20 for this. It's CGE Czech Games Edition, Lost Ruins of Arnak board game. I'd never heard of it, but it sold relatively fast and I paid a few dollars for it. This is Croc Creek Cookery by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings. It's 1942. It is a first edition, and it wasn't in very good condition. This looks like it's been through some times. It's, you know, got a lot of foxing, a lot of staining. It doesn't have a dust jacket like other ones do, so it's not in perfect condition, but it's still sold for full asking price of $17.95. So I'm very happy with that sale. This is a White Rabbit Bunny in Magician hat, and it's Folkmanis. I love picking up Folkmanis, and I pretty much always will. This one had its tag, but he was so cute because he'd go all the way down in his little hat and he'd pop up. I love these puppets. They're fantastic. But he sold for full asking. I believe I paid $1 for him, and he sold in a month or two. This I got from yard sales that I went to last weekend. So exciting to go to yard sales just because it was nice to see different kinds of items. Because everybody knows if you have to go to thrift stores to source, you look at the same, I'm just gonna say it, junk over and over and over again. So it's just nice to see different items. And I got this for $2. They had a whole bunch of Franklin Library and Easton Press books, and I just bought all of them because I think they're beautiful. Some of them are worth really good money. Some of them are just worth a couple bucks. I will say this means you should slow down because when I bought all the books, the price was so low I was gonna buy them all anyway, but I should have looked at them because 3 of them had water damage. 2 I'm gonna still try to sell because it's not excessive. 1 is just, it's a waste. I cannot sell this book, and it of course was high dollar ones. So I could have saved a little money if I just would have left those behind and I would have looked. So, you know, pay attention when you're sourcing because I am the queen of bringing home broken things. I've gotten better over time, but I'm still very, very good at it because I get excited in the moment and I don't think about the fact that it might have damage, but getting better. This sold in less than 24 hours when I listed this from the sale from last weekend, and it's a Franklin Library leather-bound Taurus Bulba and Other Tales by Nikolai Gogol, 1984. It's just a very pretty book, and it really there wasn't a lot listed. I think maybe a couple others listed for very high prices, so I just put mine in line with the other ones that had sold, and it sold very fast. This is Heidi, and it's from 1925, and it's illustrated. It's also just a very nice book. It's old, by no means, you know, first edition, first print, but you could still sell these books that have age to them as long as they're in decent condition and they're still desirable. So there you can see that. Let me see if I had any illustration pictures. There you go. So very nice illustrations on it, and it was in decent condition. And I believe I sent a best offer out for $16 for this one. This is another one of my weaknesses as a reseller. I love Wedgwood. And a lot of Wedgwood, at least the light blue, is not super valuable, but there's always exceptions. But there is lots of valuable Wedgwood, and I've sold it, but I pick it all up because I like it. So this is a Wedgwood cobalt blue handmade glass crystal elephant figurine paperweight. This I sent out an offer for $24 because it had been sitting with me for a very long time. I can tell by the picture that this has been listed at least 8 or 9 months. But you know, very cute. I like Wedgwood. This is my other really good book sale. So I took a best offer of $125 for this in about 24 hours. Yes, I probably could have got some more for it, but it was pretty in line with the solds. But what I mean by solds is I did have to go into Terapeak to look for the last 2 years. The last 90 days really didn't hold much of an idea on value for me. So this is a Roman breviary in English. It's Autumn Volume 1950, Benzinger Brothers. And so they have the spring, summer, autumn, and winter of this volumes. So if you can get all 4, that's really good money. But yeah, this sold for $125. I paid 99 cents for this. So that one was a wild sale. I wasn't expecting that one. So sometimes you just get lucky. These are cute too. So this is a lot of 2 Starbucks 2012 mugs, and they're very cute, and I was actually super excited because at my Goodwill, I think they didn't notice these were Starbucks, so I only paid $1 total for both. Typically, if it's at my Goodwill, they price up a lot of stuff, and they're just getting worse and worse. So these were only 50 cents a piece, so I was very excited about that. And they're very cute, but yep, they sold for $24.95. This is it's a vintage hand-carved trinket jewelry box, had a red lining in it. It's just a very nice little trinket box. I took a best offer of $15 for this. I think I paid $3 for it. Not a huge profit, but it was nice. And there's the red lining, so you can see that. This one is a FAO Schwartz golden yellow lab retriever dog plush stuffed animal. So I'm gonna share. In my previous life, I was in the animal care business for many years, and so I know dog breeds. And even though I know I need to put, you know, like golden. And in this, I know that it hurts me when I have to kind of lie about what a dog breed looks like, but I have to go off the general idea of what it is. So this I would probably put as a lab, but I also put golden in the title. It pained me a little to do so, but I did it because this is what people are searching for. So fun fact you didn't need, but I've done that and it hurts a little. But I took a best offer of $9 for this. It's not a lot of money, but the gentleman was giving it to his son as a gift, so I'm a sucker for nice people and cute little stories. This is The Individuated Hobbit by Timothy O'Neill, 1979. So I'm a sucker for anything Hobbit, Lord of the Rings related. I love that whole universe and series. But this was an interesting book. I paid a couple dollars for this, and I don't know why the price isn't showing up here, but I sold it for $33.95 plus free shipping. And it took a couple months to sell, but very neat little book. This is Electric Light Orchestra with Olivia Newton-John, Xanadu soundtrack. I took a base offer of $15 for this and paid about $1 for it. Again, it was in very good condition, both the record and the cover. This item was also from yard sales this last weekend, and this one, and you'll see the next one. So both the next 2 on Poshmark that sold are from yard sales this last weekend. This is a Disney 1989 Minnie Mouse Wood Sculpt Series collectible classic with the box and a certificate of authenticity. And I thought these would be worth a little more actually, but they sold very fast. I paid $5 each, so I'm still making decent money. But I actually thought they'd be worth more because they're very cool looking. But once I realized how many were in the series, so I looked. So I like to pick up limited things, but I think this was a number of like 12,000. That's pretty high for mini items, and so the value it's just not as much as I would want it to be. But $29, it's very neat, and it's already out onto its new home, and I think someone will really love it because it had original packaging on it. I did include in the description that the box shows where, because this I would not label as new still, even though it had the original packaging, this COA, and the box, because the box just looked really beat up. There was no seal on the tag, and I just to be safe, I want people to really get what they are expecting. So that was the Minnie Mouse one, and then this is the Mickey Mouse, and it's the same wood sculpt series. This one did not have a COA with it, but it did have original packaging. This I also included that the nose actually had some rub marks that I think was just from being back and forth in the box, because this one I don't think anybody had ever opened, because I did have to I did cut a piece of tape. I don't know if it was original tape, but I just, I wanted to be totally frank. This I'm still considering used, and there was wear on that nose. But it also did still have the original packaging. And this one sold for $25, and Minnie sold for $29. So thank you for joining me for this video. I'm still working on another cookbook video. I'm also considering doing a puzzle video because I love puzzles. So that's in the works, and of course the frame video. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for enjoying Opie the Bloodhound over here napping the whole time. You probably heard him snoring a few times. This is his favorite spot to be because the sun comes in during this time of day. So him and his brother usually battle over who gets to this spot. He won today. So please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, comment. I always love hearing other people's opinions or things about what they've found. I love chatting because I found I've loved doing these videos because reselling is a very lonely business, and I get joy out of talking to the screen and then possibly talking to other people on comments. So it's a very lonely affair. So it's nice to be able to kind of it's like my coworkers are in the virtual world, because right now my only coworkers are two furry ones, and I can only talk to them so much before people start to think I'm a little baddie. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.